Так, все пошло, отличненько. Так, чатик там живой. А ну, ребят, плюсики поставьте в чатике, чтобы я видел, что все ок. (17:22), да, видим мы время, видим. Живы, хорошо. Так, все, там. Twitch переименовал. На ВК-плей не могу стрим переименовать. Не дает, я не знаю почему. Че он херню морозит мне. Попробуй сейчас, кстати, с другого компьютера, может переименуется, пока ждем. Так, что тут у нас? Ждем стрима. Ты пропустил, кстати, это стрим по Троецарствию, если что, Сергушинок проспал. Проспал стрим. Не, нет, неверные параметры запроса. Чё, блядь, ему надо? Хер его знает. Ладно, короче, на ВК там будет название Троецарствия. Фиг, я не могу ничего сделать. Чё-то бесится он. Шесть минут. Ждем тогда. Так, музычку пока ждем. Пять минуток. Ну что, ваше предположение, что нам сегодня покажут? Будет ли в конце стрима дата анонс? Дата выхода, точнее. Будет ли сам анонс в Стиме, наконец-таки? Или хрен еще месяца два ждем? Фигня какая-то. Нет, покажут рискин Архаона. Но я думаю, что, скорее всего, они же там, помните, на последнем стриме они это каких-то 3 отряда секретных имперских показали. Ну, там уже все, понятно, давно разобрали, уже все поняли, что там будет. Там куча видосов по этому поводу было на ютубчике. Скорее всего, раскроют их. Еще, наверное, какие-то отряды для империи покажут. И нового лорда какого-то раскроют. Трех братьев Нурглитов-Глотов. А мне кажется, вряд ли сегодня они будут. Борю раскроют? Так его уже раскрывали, а что его там раскрывать-то? Что ему еще раскрыть надо, в каком месте этому Борье? Еще раз концепт Нагаша. Что там народ, кстати, пишет на стриме тут? Ребята, время Глоткина. Так, я видел крысу. Акуэл. Я больше жду настоящее обновление осадных башен, но Танокль звучит забавно. Бля, там еще это, патч 8.1 должен быть. Когда они уже забьют болт на Ваху 3, можно будет нормально делать сборки. Так, блин, там обновления выходят раз... Патч, DLC выходит раз в году, или ты про патч? Не, патчи пускай выходят. Они там что-то время от времени делают вид, что работают, что-то правят, пускай. Как бы, зачем? Зачем забивать-то? Они вон патчи на И должны выпустить перед патчем 9.0. Должен быть патч 8.1. С патчем 8.1 должна быть переработка И, а после патча 9.0, это End Times, должен быть патч 9.1, переработка осад. Уже год ждем реворка осад. А ты веришь в лучшее? Не, ну это их планы, как бы. Патчи на осады, если что, бета-тест был прошлым летом, в конце июля прошлого года был бета-патч на осады. Так, все, уже ждем, 17:29. Ну, где ждем пользователя Total War? Они знают, что у них сегодня стрим? А, еще 2 минуты. Понял. Так, лучше с модами играть или без? Ну, если новичок, лучше без модов играть начинать. Зачем сразу моды? Как бы моды хороши, это когда ты уже обкатал игру, уже знаком с механиками. Тебе хочется чего-то нового. Ну, для новичков лучше без модов. От силы там какие-то, блин, типа мода на камеру, чтобы там можно было в боях ближе приближать. Ну, каких-то таких прям крупных модов я бы не советовал бы ставить. Потому что даже мод тот же Миксу, Unlocker и Миксу Legendary Lords, ты их ставишь, и уже на карте все равно баланс меняется. Три с половиной тысячи почти. Давайте анонс лорда гномов. Или лорда Бретонии, пожалуйста. Я бы не отказался бы. Башива, правда, ну, как бы, ну, интересный лорд, там, если, как бы, поиграть можно, но, допустим, если у меня чисто будет выбор между 4 китайскими лордами, то выбор на Башиву у меня явно не выпадет. Да кому эта Бретония нужна? Бля, мне нужна Бретония. Так, все, нахер вырубаем музыку.
We can hear you and see you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Welcome to Warhammer 3 What's Next Live.
Так, патч 8.1 будет обсуждаться.
Definitely one. We did one? Or was that a show and tell? I can't remember what they're called.
You did a show and tell. You've not. I don't think you've
Это хорошо.
done a What's Next Live. So you've definitely not done
Oh,
one
we did the
before.
What's Next videos with Steve. Ah,
Yes.
I like doing it with Steve.
So we.
Это патч на И, если что.
Well, that's how we're starting the stream off. Before we begin, shall we introduce ourselves? I'm Josh, perpetually. Sean?
Sean, Associate Design Director.
Rich, game director.
Two faces I imagine most people watching this are pretty familiar with.
Пивас открыли.
So, we used to do What's Next
Стрим
videos.
под
We may do
пивас.
What's Next videos in the future. But one thing we noticed about the What's Next videos is we were getting a lot of comments of people wanting there to be a bit more discussion.
Внизу там, если что, переводик в субтитрах идет русский, но он такой, блин, бывает нормально работает, а бывает
So
очень,
we're trying this out. It's a live format of a What's
очень
Next.
фигово.
So if you've seen the What's Next videos, we've got, I think, maybe a bit more content than a What's Next video. Because we've got videos. And I think there are mostly screenshots in those. So we've got some videos, we've got some screenshots. We are going to start off with patch 8.1, but the patch 8.1 stuff is going to be very quick because the focus of this really is 9.0 and our redacted reveal, which I'm very glad to see says redacted, and I didn't put the wrong asset up.
Nice.
So
Нет, это отсылка,
to
на
clarify,
DLC
8.1
Громов.
we spoke about in the show and
Пиво
tell,
открыли.
and we spoke about the campaign AI prioritization
Yep.
that's going to be changing there.
Полюбаса оно с гномов
I
будет.
think it's more of a linear change in tasks. There are some like caveats that we'll have in the patch notes about where behavior isn't worse, just not as improved, and most of that is linked to customization of endgame crises. So if you're doing wacky things with your endgame crises, the AI may struggle with that. But overall, for a normal settings game, we're hoping to see some big improvements from AI kind of bobbling around.
Yeah.
We didn't have a screenshot for that because it's very hard to get a screenshot of just AI over loads and loads of different tests. But the release date for 8.1 currently is next week.
Yeah,
So-
not long to wait.
No. So hopefully you guys will have your hands on it soon. We'll have patch notes detailing what the changes we made are, where you'll see the biggest changes, but that will be coming next week. So look forward to that then. Right. Shall we start talking about 9.0?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Мы публикуем примечание к патчу с подробным описанием внесенных изменений, где вы увидите самые значительные изменения, но это появится на следующей неделе, так что ждите с нетерпением. Итак, мы начнем говорить о 9. Короче, 8.1. Все, что ли? Не 8.1 переезд?
No.
Понятно. Ну, короче, на следующей неделе, я так понимаю, патч, что ли, релизнется 8.1.
But I think the intent that we have for when
В
we show
9.0 много
Neferata is
интересного.
to show gameplay, right, rather than to talk over pictures or screenshots. So what we will be talking about.
А ну все,
what we're
заканчиваем,
signing off with
расходимся.
is the only thing I mentioned, which is the end times structure update. I think is what we're referring to it as. Do we want to dive right in with that?
All the big free update.
Well, yes. So 9.0, we're going to break down a few different parts of it. We will start by talking about end games, end times. But then we've got a whole host of other topics we're just going to touch on. So keep along with us for the journey. We don't know how long we're going to spend on each topic. I'll see how much information I can get out of you guys, and then we'll move on.
Чего-то
All right?
начните там.
So, starting off, shall we talk about end games?
Sure.
Are you ready for the chart?
If I said no, this would
Пошли
be
обратно в Катай. Не, подожди, 9.0.
Let's go for
All right.
Вдруг гномов реально заанонсят.
So, end games.
End games.
They're changing.
Yes.
As you can see there, I've got current on the left, and I've got what we're planning on the right.
Yes.
Care to talk to us a little bit about what the current end game is like?
Прекризис.
I will somewhat read off the screen.
That's fine.
As we go through it. Yeah. So as it stands now, we've got they're called end game crises, but I don't think they really satisfied what we wanted them to do, which is ultimately the problem. And as per the list, most of the time they just spawned a bunch of armies and they didn't really change up the gameplay that we
Уникальные
wanted to.
механики
It wanted to be a big
эндгейма.
moment where, oh, there is a threat, there is something that's coming in, not just like, here's 10 armies.
Yeah.
Уникальная музыка, видео, финальные
It's
битвы.
not necessarily interesting, it doesn't change the mechanics. So what we're looking to do now is when we hit these specific new end games,
В планах.
technically an evolution, because Vermintide's already in the game, but we'll be having the new Vermintide. we've got the Chaos Invasion and Nagash turning up. There will be a foreshadowing moment of, by the way, it's this endgame.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware who's going to come and ruin your day.
Yeah.
And then when the actual event starts, we will have a nice little moment of a cinematic as you come in and you go, oh no, who is the big bad?
Yeah.
It'll come out and we will see what this is actually going to do to your campaign experience, where they have some bespoke mechanics, which we'll maybe see in a second.
Yep.
But yeah, the big thing
Похоже,
is,
игру... Никто не говорил, что не буду ее бросать.
Campaign AI, everything was shared because it was quite a generic formula. When we made it, we thought, this is a great idea. It'll be like quite templateable. We can reuse it.
Yeah.
And in practice, what that meant was, this is bland. We probably should have done more. And now we are going, let's do more. So all of them are bespoke in some way. And there's a bit more effort put in.
Если это не битвы, как у китайцев в их модах, то лучше не надо. Бля, ну они все равно битвы будут делать как бы под масштабную аудиторию, чтобы люди могли пройти. Вот и все. Там не будет никаких мега сложных битв.
Here to impact your experience to quite a level.
Yeah.
So is the intent? So would you have both a crisis event and an endgame event during your campaign?
If you so choose. I mean,
Сценарий финальной игры.
Так,
как назвал Шон, сценарий действительно призваны повлиять на ваш опыт игры.
But it hasn't actually changed your campaign playout a great degree other than one of the factions are supercharged now. These endgames are supposed to be actually changing the way the campaign is going to play and how the other AI interact with you. When Archeon turns up, everyone's probably going to universally agree, maybe we chill a bit until he's gone.
Maybe not Archeon.
Yeah, well, no, maybe he's got his own stuff going on, but all the non-Chaos factions will probably agree maybe there's bigger problems on the horizon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crisis events can still happen.
Марин тоже не любит сложные. А у тебя под все фракции сделан? Прям под все? Вот под Башиву был сделан?
One of the things that we'll call out there. So what we're going to
Под
do is we're
Башиву.
going to dive into just a couple of very work in progress in development screenshots of Archeon's endgame event, but very difficulty curves. So the three endgame events, they're spiking at different times, or
Yeah, so the
Звезды Эвол. Ну ладно, поставим на следующую кампанию.
Don't mess with Archeon. He's going to come in with a unified chaos.
Yeah.
And for all of this giant unified form of chaos and all of the different pieces of the mechanic you'll probably get a glimpse at in a second, he is effectively, not literally, but effectively untouchable.
Yeah.
Like, he is so amped to the nines, don't try it.
Yeah.
The game.
Когда релиз декабрь, не знаю, вряд ли будут даты на этом стриме. Мне кажется, это как-то дату выхода они будут презентовать по-другому, наверное, с каким-нибудь а-ля трейлером.
Patch 9.0, it's meant to say update 9.0. I've not used our correct terminology, so everyone pretend that says update. Well, shall we talk about Archeon's endgame event?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
People seem pretty excited by these updates, so let's show them a little bit of what they'd get to experience. So when does this pop up?
So we've got our foreshadowing moment of, where's Archeon gone? That's suspicious. And then about 10 turns later, we'll have on the start of the turn, we'll have the nice, if you remember back to Warhammer 1 when we had the Chaos Invasion cinematic.
Yep.
It's effectively in that vein of setting the tone that things are going to get bad.
Yeah.
And then when you come out, you'll get this, and this will give you an explanation of what is the theme, who is the trouble, how do you stop it?
And he's trouble.
Yeah. So a couple of his mechanics are on there at the moment. So we're starting with a very high ward save, which I think you'd hinted at.
Yeah,
so
don't try it.
So don't immediately go and take Archeon.
Yeah, I mean you can. I wouldn't personally.
We look forward to the challenge
Yeah.
videos. Someone asking then, where will Archeon be on the map if you weren't playing as him?
So because all of this is development in progress, that is actually one of the things that we're still tweaking. But generally, we're trying to get him and his friends, the Friends of Chaos, to be close enough to you that it's relevant. We don't want it to be you're in Lustria and Archeon is all the way in the old world and completely untouchable and thus irrelevant. But we are still fine-tuning what feels right, because we don't want him to be primarily invading Lustria for the his big moment. Doesn't really work. So that is something we're still fine-tuning.
And these mechanics that they're seeing on screen now, these are unique to Archeon's endgame, right?
Yes.
So the other two may have similarities, but overall are a different experience.
Yes, I mean there are similarities in terms of what the goal might be or how you might counter something, but the actual mechanic itself is very unique.
Yeah. So I think we actually have a screenshot of I let it happen. I let this endgame trigger,
Mm-hmm.
and this is if anyone can work out where that is, they'll work out it is a very different looking version of what that area of the map should look like. So are we talking about different visuals then for these endgames?
Yeah, if you don't stop Archeon, the world's going to get much smaller very quickly.
Это империя, не пойму, да?
We're clearly, for those that have been following us, seeing our devastation visuals here as the world is being destroyed. And throughout the end game, work in progress as it stands today, as the regions are raised and destroyed during the end game, you cannot recolonize them until the end game of Archeon is resolved.
Yep.
So he's really hampering you going for that domination victory.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to get rid of them.
So we're seeing Chaos factions uniting under Archeon.
Yep.
They're getting stronger. They're taking out settlements.
Yep.
We can't immediately just go and take them back.
No.
So you're kind of being really confronted with this is the end of the world unless you step up and stop it. I'm just seeing if there's anything else I have to say about that. New UI that they've seen, new music. I've seen quite a lot of people excited for.
Yeah, there's that monitor just turned off.
That's gonna be whatever.
There's a new piece of music for each of the end games that goes with it.
Спас-бросок Архаона, 94 бонус, 94%, 131 регион уничтожен.
And the music will play when the beginning of it happens. So we'll have that cinematic. We'll come out. We'll get the Archeon's here moment, and we'll get the Chaos endgame music of be careful.
It sounds pretty good.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And we're saying there's going to be 2 more kind of variants of that then.
Yeah. One for each of the end games.
And I've got here then. So how are we stopping Archeon then at the very end of it?
You have to fight him, aren't you? You have to beat him up and then take him back.
Ну не знаю, ну вот бонус Архаона, Ward Save, бонус 94%.
With the number of invasion forces remaining, right? So they're reducing ward save a little bit. There are other ways to reduce ward save.
Yeah, so
Прогресс вторжения.
Yeah.
All of this could change, but right now it's mostly about taking out his lieutenants.
Yeah, can you grab me the remote and can you grab me the mouse? Yeah. Thank you very much.
This is alive.
It is.
Yeah, so you can take out his lieutenants or the Chaos Lords, and you can go after the Chaos Portal Fortresses, which is the in-progress name for what they are. Which is why it sounds a bit of a mouthful. No, it's actually it's really slick, that term. But effectively, what a Chaos Portal Fortress is we designate.
Не, ну, кстати, скверну хаоса прикольно переработают. Наконец-таки, спустя 10 лет.
And that is a danger point for forces to come from. So you want to shut that down because 1, that's a danger point, and 2, that does weaken Archeon and the overall invasion.
Не, ну понятное дело, что это уже ближе к финальным бафам. Тут, хотя мир, да, ну написано, мир уничтожен на 25%.
But we are going to talk about, while we're on the topic of him, Archeon. So Archeon's had a little touch up.
Не, понятное дело, что это не начально, он будет набираться постепенно.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Dolgar as well.
Так, и чё?
That'll be our next picture.
Spoilers!
If Dom can come in, Mr. Producer, and just log into that PC, it would save me a big headache.
Бля, ну они ему цветокоррекцию просто сделали, серьезно. Им самим там смешно, нахер.
As I can see, this isn't a complete remodeling, right? It's a bit of a texture update.
Вопрос один, нахера?
Completely redone the model. But you can see, he's a bit broodier, he's a bit darker.
Just a bit more befitting for...
Exactly. Someone in the chat was saying he's got more aura.
Месяц работы, огромные бабки потрачены, те же мододелы, которые в 100 раз лучше сделают за бесплатно. Ну я же говорю, да, цветокоррекцию сделали просто.
And also his horses. Thank you, Dom. That one, please.
Yeah, Dolgar looks
good. Yeah, Dolgar looks good. I think that the big thing is between
Бля, серьезно.
Of our initial game and Warhammer 3, a lot has changed over the course of our technology, our assets, and so on. And now we've got to a point where we felt that he didn't quite match the rest of the game's atmosphere. No. So we thought he needed that texture update.
That's it. Yeah, you have to remember, like, these models are, well, at least 10 years old now.
Yeah.
I forgot that they can't see me, so I've just run off camera and fixed some things.
Yeah, we pretended.
Обновили модельку, блин, которой 10 лет.
Alongside that then, a little change
Чуть темнее сделали полгода работы, бля.
Yeah.
I don't have a before for this, so they're going to have
to imagine.
Or
just load up the game.
Всем
exactly.
удачи.
Load it up now.
Говорят, ну все, увидимся через
so
месяц.
Changes there, but that isn't all the changes coming to Archaon.
No.
Okay.
He's got some campaign updates as well. So I think I might have seen a couple of Reddit threads about it, and we've had it in the works.
Так что это всего лишь небольшие изменения, но это все еще изменения, которые появятся у Архаона.
But our technology literally didn't allow it at the time. It now does allow it. So what we can do is, very much Norska inspired. If he beats up any of the other Chaos factions,
может, они DLC выпустят летом следующего года.
So the likes of Scarbrand and the Demons, he can say, "You work for me now because I'm big bad Chaos man."
Yeah, ever chosen, right?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So how many people are we talking about? He can confederate here.
I didn't count beforehand.
20 something.
It's a lot. It's quite a few. Yeah.
We were maybe thinking of getting a picture of
Пьет кол, не, пиво, это...
Yeah, it looks a bit like the Justice League.
Скрытый анонс гномов.
Or the Unjustice League.
Yeah.
I have a few questions from chat. I'm just going to have a quick look through and see which of these we can ask. That's why I needed to get this monitor up. Will the new corruption be visible for players playing non-chaos or death factions?
The new, it's not necessarily new corruption. It's devastation. So there are ways that the devastation will happen, not just the end game. So Nagash's core mechanics actually use the devastation visuals to show that he's killing the world.
Yeah.
So everyone, regardless of whether you buy the DLC or not, you will see the world be updated based on the goings on of the other factions.
Это не обязательно новая скверна, это не скверна, это разрушение. Ну, короче, типа новые вот эти эффекты, да, разрушение мира, типа как не скверно, это после того, как город разрушается, карта меняется. Ну, короче, вроде как и скверно, но не скверно, они сказали.
So as it stands today, work in progress. We don't do this endgame if you're playing as Chaos, because all of Chaos unite into one single we hate the rest of the world unified force, the Injustice League, like you said. So we felt that if you were playing as a Chaos faction, it didn't really have that big moment of like, oh, I've got a new enemy, I've got a new thing to challenge, because they would effectively be on your side. So it wouldn't actually be the big moment we want. You just get a really big ally. So as it stands, it doesn't happen, but it's work in progress.
However,
so it might change.
Another question is, how does the endgame work if you are Archaon?
Oh, well, obviously, you are the end game. And I feel like we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Oh, no, this is it.
Is this perfect timing?
This is perfect timing.
Oh, man. What prep we do on this stream. Yeah, so as you go through your campaign as Archaon, when you complete your short victory, you will get the option of, would you like to keep playing your standard Archaon Warriors of Chaos loop? Or would you like to become the equivalent of an endgame? At that point, you can no longer occupy territory, and you can only destroy territory. And when you destroy enough regions in a province, it will come devastated. Every devastated province then adds to your...
А вы будете проходить кампанию за своих персонажей, после того, как одержите короткую победу, у вас появится... перескочила. Возможность там что-то выбрать.
So cool. The ability to become an endgame. I mean, a lot of players joke that the player is the endgame, but to take that and be with Archaon, no, this is you
quite literally are. Yeah.
That's really cool. Other questions we had here. So there was a question I think you've kind of touched on, which is, are the current crises being reworked?
They're being. So the Vermintide one, is because that is one of our 3 big end games. The other ones are being adjusted.
Откуда хейта? Нету хейта.
The end game, but it isn't our focus right now.
Yep. That makes sense. Thank you. I was just seeing if that's a question, but actually it was not. It was someone going holy moly, which is the brand safe version. Okay, cool. We've got maybe a little thing about another Chaos champion who you want to mention?
Oh yeah. So Sigvald.
Там что-то у себя наверху смотрят, а нам не показывают.
Slaanesh champion, and everyone told us, why is Sigvald an undivided champion? We agree. Why is he
модераторы, я в
so
чате.
he will become a Slaanesh champion in the future.
Fantastic.
Oh, the other thing to mention about Archaon is we are looking to integrate Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers into the Warband trees. So again, something that people were asking about, now is the time that we're going to make that one happen.
Yeah, it was a somewhat, let's wait till we do the End Times DLC to bring in the End Times unit that came with Archeon could get access to. So we're updating his warbands to get them as well.
So
в будущем типа Зигвальд станет чемпионом Сланиша.
The whole new experience of it.
You already had one rework, her second rework, where he gets his own mechanic.
Become the rework. So I will pop up just, I think, one more time before we move on the endgames comparison. So we kind of bundled two things in there, right? Endgames and Archeon. But just for those who missed it. So the current crises, they will be called crisis events. There'll be more of a mid-campaign, a power boost to a faction. But what we've got are 3 bespoke, I guess, thematic war.
They are much like the entire DLC and update. It's End Times inspired. So it's not a direct translation one-to-one of what happened in the End Times, but we are taking inspiration from what were the motivations of the characters, what were they trying to achieve, and how can we bring that into Warhammer 3.
Fantastic. Then we have one other thing before we move on to our next section, and it is a really pretty cool opportunity that landed on our laps. Our friends over at Weta Workshop, which I don't think I've ever said Weta out loud, and I've just seen how many bits there are on the name, and I don't know if I've said that correctly. They are also big fans of Warhammer, for those who don't know. They've made a whole bunch of statues, and they are making one to celebrate Total War Warhammer, but it's just a tease. We're not able to say exactly who they're working on. So stay tuned to Weta's channels, and you'll be able to find out more about
Смотрите,
them.
что мы делали в офисе целый месяц вместо разработки игры. Модельки раскрашивали.
If you're excited to get a model of them, that will be coming soonish.
That's almost as hard as your last Who's That unit.
It is. I did realise, as I said, coming soonish. I have no idea when it's coming out, but it's cool, and there'll be more information about it on Weta's channel. Right, let's move on to firstly this. Welcome back. Let's talk about victory conditions. So we've had a look at victory conditions in 9.0.
Yes.
All of them.
And I think that's the headline here, right? Every Lord has had a look at their victory conditions?
Yeah, this is something we put off for a long time because it is such a big piece of work, but it felt needed.
Yeah, you can't just do one group. It was the...
Мы пересмотрели условия победы в версии 9.0.
So I've got the before and
Да-да, все до единого.
So at the moment, to talk about the philosophy of victory conditions. So a lot of these were put in with the release of Immortal Empires, right?
Yep.
Some ported over from 1
Теперь надо будет захватить не 30 поселений для короткой победы, а 40.
Each race kind of having a similar theme.
So it was actually even more
Тогда написали тематические фокус на механиках.
It wasn't even just like ogres have this and greenskins have that. It was everyone that we think is within this broad spectrum gets the same thing. So it was super broad, and it was necessary for Immortal Empires to get that moving at the pace it needed to, but it has always been something that we...
Ну вряд ли это сравнится с модом на это. На условия победы, который сейчас есть, с которым мы играли от последней кампании 5.
But the change now, so focus on conquest, I like being something removed as more of a thematic, as someone who likes to play Oxalotl. Wasn't a fan of having to raise 30 settlements. I just want to live in the south and just live my life, adventuring out. So the planned one's bespoke per lord, we've said. Every lord's had a look.
Ну, покажите хоть один пример условий победы.
So it's more about using the faction rather than
Вы же говорите, что уже пересмотрели.
Go and do this. Focused rewards. So we'll touch on rewards.
We can touch on rewards a little bit, but the headline of it is currently short victory and long victory are by and large shared generic effects for everyone. And again, that was just a part of the...
Мне не нравилось захватывать 30 поселений, я хотел просто жить на юге, жить своей жизнью, путешествовать и познавать мир. 30 поселений ему не нравилось захватывать.
And then the long victory is still in the same vein as what's live.
Пересмотрели так, что каждый лорд рассматривал, они были победа ориентирована на тематику и механику.
Why don't you stick around and complete your long victory with these thematic rewards? And when you get to long victory, the only thing left after that is
Так мы немного поговорим о наградах, но суть в том, что сейчас короткая победа и длинная победа в основном общие эффекты, которые есть у всех.
keep the pace that you are currently at.
We don't. So
Нам нужно было что-то добавить.
We won't be showing some of the rewards because I think they're all still going through levels of approvals.
Ну да, ВСО как бы топ-мод.
Some of them really exciting. So really excited to see what people think when we start to be able to talk about them more.
То, что сказали, они просто открыли, пересмотрели, просто перечитали.
I won't. I'll hold back. So what we'll start is we'll have a look at TheBrain. So this is what TheBrain's current short and long victory conditions are. So you can see here.
Tiny picture.
It was you're going to see it was a lot harder to fit the new ones in. So that's everyone can remember. That's what it looks
Бля,
like.
ну оккупируйте, разграбьте, уничтожьте 30 поселений. Это что? Это то, что... А, вот, все. Ну, что тут у вас? Уничтожить фракцию орков, так.
Yeah, so for the faction leaders, we do want it to be about, unifying the faction. That's why we've got something like the Confederation there. But even within, there's still like clear cultural goals, and there is like the appropriate landmarks.
Законфедерате два легендарных лорда. Ой-ой-ой, ну, опять. Завершите так. Книгу. Отстройте лендмарк Караза-Караки. В длинный.
Actually quite difficult for any modder who's actually touched the victory editions, because I know there's a very popular mod. They'll know. Yeah, it's quite dated.
And I think also, while we're on it, to touch on that, what people see is the goal here isn't to emulate popular victory conditions mods, right? We're both beholden to different rule sets and different player expectations for sandbox gameplay.
5 конфедераций совершить.
That experience is out there and it exists. So if that's the kind of experience you want, you can get it.
Бля, если они там, надеюсь, переделают это конфедерацию у гномов в плане того, что там идет лютый буст после каждой конфедерации в этих в обидах. Примеры на гномах точно будет новый лорд. Бля, точно. Вот это, кстати, правильно ты приметил. Бля, прикинь, такое условие победы за белого гнома. Уничтожить кривой месяц. Так, вон следующее. Это бестов, походу. Печати. Так, это...
So everyone remember, this is what we've got.
Это было. Давайте
and,
следующее.
This is what we'd be looking to move into.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I actually want to call out here, and the development and progress is doing some heavy lifting, because anyone that is eagle-eyed will see, raise the Minotaur's cap twice. This is because we are testing out the tech. It's new tech to get this to work, so that those numbers are all placeholder as is. But the key thing that would have changed from the previous one to this one is whenever we say kill a faction, they should be, and if we've missed it, it's a bug. They should always be legendary lord factions. Right. We don't want you to just be killing minor factions anymore. It's not a particularly noteworthy achievement, and we want it to be that those factions are where you are, or someone that you actually should be.
Нифига, я надеюсь, тут не пойму, тут внизу на выбор камень 5-го уровня в такое перечисление от Тальдорфа до Гексатлина Горонда.
It was Taurox.
Yeah. Okay, good. They've confirmed. So, anything else? And also, I guess the special herdstones is a really cool change.
Хотя в одном из написано, в одном из регионов написано, я не заметил.
One. It's just a bit more thematic to Taurox.
Exactly that.
So, shall we talk about tic-tac-toe?
Why not?
He's hoping he spelled it correctly. So this is the current for tic-tac-toe, and I think, well, you could say, what do people hate about this condition? You have to go to Austria.
I've got the cap on because the light is so blinding.
Так, это колония сейчас Димча, да, будут показывать.
Yeah, well, the lizard men are your guys, aren't they? So you should talk about this one.
Again, it's just in the wrong part of the world for what you're asking to do, so want to absolutely address that and make sure you are fighting, going after things that make thematic sense and around where your character starts.
Yep. I have actually misspelled tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, it should be a Q.
Yeah, don't. Oh, all right. And so everyone remember, this is what's before, and it's still misspelled. But this is the after. So what are we seeing here in differences in conditions? So we're seeing a shift of stuff into the short campaign as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're seeing around cultural mechanics like the spawning sequences. We're seeing, and again, these numbers are all temporaries, we put them in.
Yeah.
But rather than just actually, the recruit one's a good example to talk about. Where we want you to have themed armies with tic-tac-toe, you should have these flying units.
Yep.
We didn't want the objective to be purely just recruit them, because we felt that would be a bit of a weak ending to a campaign if you ended on I clicked recruit.
Yeah.
Подожди, ну это не
So
стоп.
we have the
Тут
rank condition in there as well.
Тирадон это
The
без
goal
слов.
and the hope there is the likelihood is you'll end on a battle ranking up those units so that they cross that threshold.
Yep.
So that is something else we're trying to achieve, is make sure that we don't end on a bit of a weak ending. We want it to have like a nice battle
Да,
or something
это
exciting.
не без слов, а
Feel like
этих
it is.
лизардов.
Absolutely.
Get the proper Lizardman Air Force.
Exactly. And someone said, "Oh, have there been any changes to insert any lord name?" And I think the answer is yes. Right.
Yes,
So every
everyone's
lord.
changed.
Yeah.
So these are 3 examples of.
But actually, tell a lie. A couple of the more recent DLCs haven't changed that much.
Да,
we,
тик-так-то.
Bashiva, for example.
Yeah, for the players who are paying attention, we were sort of figuring out in the last 3 DLCs what works.
Yeah.
So that we could go, what is it from then on? And that's why it's been a little bit inconsistent in the last couple of DLCs, because we were trying to figure out what was the best approach.
Yeah.
So like Bashiva either won't change at all, or is changing very small amounts compared to a lot of the older characters.
And someone asking what the rewards are. We did speak about that before. The rewards are all the rewards changing? A large swathe at least?
Basically, all the rewards are changing.
Yep.
Except for Chaos Dwarfs, because again, they had something that was actually noteworthy.
Yes. So we will we'll hopefully be able to share more about that as we get closer. There's just so many of them. Like we had to pick 3 here out of 100 lords. I mentioned at the start, like Oxalotl, he's lost his go and take 30, and it's instead about doing his missions, right? And I think that's the vibe people will see for all of these. Is it's much more focused on the faction. Are we doing anything with flybys?
Yes.
Was that subtle enough, do you think?
We wanted to come back and address the fact that flybys have been essentially gone, right? Since we made Immortal Empires. Sure, we've got the little camera pan down, but it's nothing like what we did originally for the Warhammer series. So you're going to get to see those again now when you start the game. They're not going to be focused on a particular character, but on an area of the world. So you'll get some lore, some explanation, like a setup where people are.
Просто он это за 10 лет Архаон это выцвел, решили ему это по новой покрасить, обновить красочку на модели в игре.
You're being zoomed around, you're being given the lay of the land. I just saw a couple of people going, "What's a flyby?" But I think the one I saw about a minute long, just narrated, giving you that context. But yeah, I know people really miss those, so a lot of people very happy to see them back. Norska rework when I saw in the chat, I think about 8 months ago. How long is time?
A little while ago now.
Shall we talk about vampire counts?
Why not?
So, to caveat this, we don't have any specific screenshots of the vampire count stuff. This is going to be a bit more of a discussion of it. Some of it more tied to Neferata bits that we didn't want to show. So we're going to have a discussion of it. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that's changing. And then we're moving on to our third section of the stream. So,
поговорим о вампирских, о вампирах.
A couple of changes.
They've been waiting for them as well.
Yeah, they've been a long time. I mean, they got the bloodlines back 7-8 years ago.
I think that was one of our first reworks that we did.
I don't even know if we'd call it a rework these days.
No, a panel feature.
We could panel, yeah. But yeah, they've been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Another reason why we don't have many images here is this is the most work in progress in terms of we are playtesting this quite significantly right now.
Yeah.
And things are changing a lot. So I'll be somewhat vague at times.
Yeah.
But
I think this is the intent that we're going for at the moment, right? But we need to prove it out, make sure it's fun. And,
Ну, они у них реворк
поцелуев
идет, линий, переработка строительства больше, технологии, конфигурации.
So we've acknowledged that is not the way that you actually recruit, and we have now changed raised air to be the default way of the vampire counts recruit. How it works now is to jump to the.
Не, ну вроде бы там нормально так.
Yeah.
We've got corpses, so when you fight a battle in a province.
Не, ну более-менее, кстати, реворки фракции они нормальные делают каждый раз, как бы все равно по сравнению с изначальным то, что они делают, как бы становится.
So very much like how Raised Dead work, but instead of it using treasury or dark magic, it now uses corpses as our fuel for new units. That is for like the bottom half of the faction, the tiers 1 to 3. The tiers 4 and 5 will use a different resource, which is effectively like blood kisses plus. We're still working on that.
Plus kisses. You can take that.
Oh, look at that.
Amazing. But we're still working on what that name will actually be called.
Yep.
We're workshopping a few options, but effectively it's blood kisses plus.
Yep.
That will be used to recruit the tiers 4 and 5 units. So corpses are a provincial recruitment. You walk into somewhere, you go, there's loads of dead bodies, let's get some scallybobs. And then you want a big Terrorgeist, well, you use your special Blood Kisses plus resource, and you can do that anywhere. It doesn't matter whether there's corpses in the province because you're using your special resource for it. But because we're shifting to everything's immediate recruitment, and we know it is, we're also going to be using unit caps now. So we still wanted the buildings to actually be useful.
Если вам понадобится большой... Короче, там типа зайдешь в регион, там можно много тел мертвых поднять. А если вам понадобится терроргист, вы воспользуетесь своими особыми кровавыми поцелуями и ресурсами. И вы сможете поднять его неважно где. Если там труп в провинции. Если там труп в провинции нет. Потому что вы для этого используете особые ресурсы.
And a shared the units section. Yep. And what else have we got? Oh, we got new convert regions to. So yeah, so there's quite a few places in the world where you don't.
Ну, они просто к примеру привели, не обязательно, как бы, я понимаю, какие-то хай-тир отряды.
In the world into an actual undead wastelands that will match the visuals of the corruption. It's an expensive thing to do, and it can be reverted.
Появилось новое древо технологии. Оно разделено на 3 секции. Секция некромантии, секция вампиров. Секция чего-то не пойму. Перевело странно. Секция рубашек. Секция юнитов, короче.
So the big change there, I mean, realistically, necromancers and vampires are on pretty substantial different power levels. And I don't think we really captured that in the live version of the game where you can.
Дайте мне нормальный ростер юнитов.
So to get vampires now, you have to find a vampire lair. You can either take the settlement or send an agent off to find the lair. And when you get there, you then customize what your vampire is. So you can spend your blood kisses plus.
Ну, делить технологии на секции, это, ну, на ветки, это, блин, сейчас тренд всех патчей, DLC.
But most importantly, you pick what bloodline it is. So your vampires are always one of the bloodlines. But you have to find them. So they're limited, but intentionally from the get-go, we are making them a more powerful option.
That's awesome.
You'll build your own vampire.
Doing some cosmetic work on them while they're in the crypt before you wake them up, perhaps.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. And then they're ready to roll.
Fantastic. Is there anything else we want to say about the vampire counts? I guess one thing new is they will have a new legendary lord in Neferata, who we'll speak about at some point in the future. But yeah, we've got their like and more.
Внешний вид от них подправили, отрядов там тоже было сказано. Тоже, короче, цветокоррекцию, видимо, сделают. Ну, там как бы, да, отряды с первой вахи, ёлы-палы. Обновят текстуры по фото еще. Ну, как бы про новых отрядов пока речи не было. И тут ничего не сказано, да?
Being able to become lords in each other's campaigns via their skill tree, which has currently been looked at.
Yeah, that was something that where we are now stripping back how many vampires you get based on how many layers you have. It was noticeable when we played Vlad that actually maybe I kind of just want Isabella to also lead her own army because having a second powerful vampire lord is very useful. But it is purely an option. If you like the fantasy of they're always together in each other's army.
Одно из нововведений у них появится новый легендарный лорд. Но они его как бы засвечивали еще в трейлере самом.
Fantastic. I think that is what we have for the 9.0 section. There is.
Но они не сейчас о нем будут говорить, типа сказали, он появится, ну там уже это.
10 parts.
Yeah. We've got to move on then. So there is more
о нем они расскажут позже.
when we're ready to show all of that, hopefully we'll be able to show you some more with gameplay builds and playing around in areas. Right.
В версии 9.0 есть еще кое-что. Да ладно, еще что-то есть.
So,
все, картинки закончились.
I've seen a lot of people in chat hoping and guessing for very different lords. And I know there's one person on Reddit who's really hoping we're about
В версии 9.0 есть еще кое-что, над чем ведется работа, но когда мы будем готовы, короче, не сейчас они не готовы это показать.
A man-sized man, a slightly bigger man-sized man, and then something enormously not man-sized, kind of man.
Really big guy, yeah.
So we're pleased to announce the next Lord of the End Times is 1,
Glotkin.
2, and 3. Who is this?
The triplets.
The triplets.
The foul triplets. So this is the Glotkin
Yep.
in all its glory, and that is the three brothers, Ethrak, Otto, and Gurk. So they come as a powerhouse. Literally, Gurk is the powerhouse, stomping around there as we see, with Ethrak and Otto on top. So you got a casting character up there, as well. Their backstory, if you don't know, they were raised in sort of the Norscan waste, and the Empire came and smashed down their village and destroyed everything. They lost their parents, and of course this was just the opportunity for Nurgle. There's already a connection there to sort of sow that seed, pledge themselves to him, and we have this mighty, beautiful trio.
Does feel like they got very different deals in that barter. So, Glotkin, they're joining us as
Warriors of Chaos.
Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah, and there's a few reasons for that. And this actually goes all the way back, like maybe 20 minutes or something. Part of the reason we're comfortable making Sigvald a champion is because we are sort of opening it up to go, okay, well, the Glotkin will be a second Nurgle champion. We're okay having a second Slaanesh champion. But the big reason why we wanted them to be Warriors of Chaos was from a campaign playstyle point of view. We really want it to go, we've got Warriors of Chaos here, we've got Festus there, and there's Nurgle all the way there. This was our nice extra step along the journey of where do they sit in this picture. So they have the greatest access to demons and the Nurgle roster compared to any of the other, none of the Champions of Chaos will get anywhere near the level of Nurgle access that the Glotkin will get. But they are still using some of the core Warriors of Chaos loop with their own special mechanic as well.
And I think we'll swap on over to showing actually. Hopefully they can still hear us. Showing the Glotkin in action. But we've got a few units we'll be showing off, and I think a couple of those units will. I can see people saying makes sense. But I think a couple of those units will also show what we've been able to add to the Warriors of Chaos roster by making Glotkin into Warriors of Chaos, right?
Yeah. For those that know every unit we have in the game so far, there's actually not that many Nurgle units left.
Yeah.
We've got all the ones that we can get in now. Yeah. But there are other units that were still on the table, so we felt that actually, again, it's another justifying point. Glotkin being Warriors of Chaos allows us to bring in some of the really cool units that aren't yet in the game.
Yeah.
They get some big gribblies.
Yeah.
Специальные
рейнштаки. As well right now, by the looks of it. It's, so he's got a special, I think that's an ability, right, that you're using there to... and then I charge him in. I quite enjoyed recording Glotkin. He's very imposing.
Эта плашка даже висит, когда нам уже пресс-версии дают, мы играем, прям до выхода дня релиза, она у нас даже висит. Это да, это плашка.
But fantastic attacks. I think we've got that guy at the top as well. He's casted, throwing down some ranged fire as we were walking in.
Yeah, well, not really, but he's
projectile every now and then.
Yeah, he's swiping. So Otto's at the very top. He's our super fan of Nurgle. He's the true believer of the three brothers. Ethrak is the caster, somewhat in the middle with the third arm, which is casting some of the spells in the animations. And Gurek, but he can only say Gurk now, so he goes by Gurk. Is the big boy stomping as we see on screen. I do want to take a second to point out the top and bottom titles, because after the last time we did this video, all of these stats are definitely going to change.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people trying to discuss the health.
Yeah, all of these stats are definitely going to change, and they are work in progress.
Yeah.
I remember when we showed the Tutogen guard off, there was some concerns. And that won't be what's in the game.
So I grabbed this from a build, 3 days ago, Friday. Had to re-export it today because I misspelled progress. Which goes to show how development in progress that is, even working on the words. But that is absolutely right. So I think there were some balance questions last time about Knights Panther, and I believe by the time we showed the video, they'd already been rebalanced from them.
Yes.
So I would take the numbers on the side as kind of a guide of what we're trying to make their role, rather than the specific numbers they'd land on.
Yeah, it's also where we don't necessarily show many of the abilities, because that's just more areas for us to say this is work in progress.
Yep. Shall we move on to the next unit?
Yeah.
Or should I say...
He's got some friends, hasn't he?
Units. So the Putrid Blight Kings.
Had to do.
Had to. And do you know what? I think there was a thread about this I saw yesterday, debating how we would do them. Would they be one unit? Would they be variants? And how have we done it?
There's 3 variants.
Yeah.
We've got all 3 variants in there. Yeah.
So here, and these are going to cycle through. So here we've got the base variant as axe and shield, and then we've got dual axes. I've got to say, I love the stomachs. On these
like
guys.
a little bell, a little nurgling.
And then at some point in about 10 seconds, it will show us the third variant, who has, you can see one there, the nurgling in the stomach is fascinating and disgusting in equal measure. So is the bell. Some of them have like a bell ringing in there. So we've got 3 different variants here. Is that us trying to mirror what we see on the tabletop?
Yeah, effectively. We wanted to make sure that we got all of them in, so that there was a space in your roster for them as well. Like they are.
Потому что написано вверху текстуры по текстуры, потому что в прогрессе.
So we have to do every part of it. We can't just pick our favorite.
For sure.
Потому что все в прогрессе находится, в процессе.
I think these are a mix of very low level and decent tier Kislev. But they, especially the great weapons, absolutely chewed through them in this.
I think to that point, that's what we've been trying to do for all these rosters, all the characters across the Lord of the End Times DLCs. Make sure that we've got the thematic units that are associated to it. So they do come in slightly different shapes and sizes, but it's really true to the Lord that you get in that pack.
Outside of Glockin, who else would anyone else have access to the Putrid Blight Kings? Are the Nurgle factions?
Yeah, so the Nurgle factions get them. Glockin gets them, and Archeon will definitely get them, because Archeon gets everything. Yeah. He's the coolest guy.
Someone said they don't look entirely finished, and they are development in progress.
And it was a keen eye whoever said that.
Then I'll let this bit finish off, just because I love seeing the animations of the great weapons. But then we will move on to our next unit, who I think is one very tall, who I think people are going to be pretty excited to see.
Kitted out as well.
Indeed. I put the Putrid Blight Kings there to show the absolute scale.
Осадный великан.
You can see there's the armor on the giant is maybe what's going to differentiate them from what's already in the roster.
Big old blades as well.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. The blades linked arms.
But gameplay wise, definitely the armor, right?
Yeah, I mean, a giant's biggest weakness is the fact that a few cheap archers can eventually take it down.
Yeah,
you're going to struggle to take this down with archers now. So that's the big upgrade. But again, to go back to why Warriors of Chaos is really useful for the Glockin pack is we've got this awesome guy.
Yeah.
And as we've done many times before, these guys will turn back up in the Chaos Dwarf Hellforge as well, because
that's exactly what people were just asking.
Oh,
so glad you managed to jump on that.
We're on the same wavelength, guys.
Thanks.
So
у него баллистическая броня есть.
As well. I think we saw one of them pop as he charged in, which is an aura, which, if I had the memory to be able to remember what it said it did, I'd be a stronger man. But that'll come.
There's Yell and Ball.
Yes.
And there's the active, which is ripping blades.
Yeah, which I don't think we get to see ripping. There you go, Yell and Ball. So reducing the leadership of everyone around them, which is the hex that we saw coming in as they moved in, and ripping blades being an activatable, which is a really cool little animation, but not in that video. He's just wailing on him. Okay, we have one more unit that we have to reveal, and then we are going to start wrapping things up. Let me just see if there's any questions from chat.
Так, еще одного кого-то покажут.
Nothing that I can see in there. All right. This was so difficult to film.
Oh, this guy.
No. He moves around so... You can see it here.
Василиск.
He moves around so much.
He's twitchy.
He is. I love this, though, when he's burying himself in his ooze. Not a sentence I thought I'd say.
Какой-то новый тип атаки.
So the basilisk. What kind of role is there? We've got them up there as a support monster. What kind of role should we expect to see?
I think that's a pretty good summary. Being a support monster, it's another pretty fast big monster in the roster of a single entity, and they've got a few auras on them that'll make them problematic. Did the video stop there?
It's only for us.
Oh, okay, it's just a bit laggy. Okay, but yeah, another big fast monster effectively.
Yeah,
which is quite useful for Warriors of Chaos because really.
Бля, ну у него фаза офигенная вторая, там и с мором идет еще.
They're kind of in a comparable point to Shaggoths in terms of cost range, so it's a nice, cool unit to have.
It was a great one, putting on the roster, and telling the animators you need to animate 8 legs, and a tail, and
And then they said, well, why don't we also have him pick up a unit and eat them?
Блин, интересно, что вот это вот за атака вот это вот? Значок такой, что-то из нового.
Quite complete yet, but we've done quite a few.
I think there's like a couple of things of the incarnates, but we've got the vast majority now.
Yeah, there's a question there of if you'd know who else would get access to the basilisk.
So it's being debated because there's a certain culture that just happens to inherit.
I think that is what. I think that's the one that's currently being debated in chat.
well, let's say the debate continues, and potentially you could weigh in on the debate.
Yeah.
If you have a very strong opinion, let us know, and we can talk about all of our many stakeholders that agree on where should it sit.
We're seeing. I mean, someone said, "Are we talking about the French?" That's not the faction we're talking about. Every DLC is a Beastmen DLC. I mean, I'm not seeing anyone say no. I don't want to see them as Beastmen, but I'd be surprised if I did.
I'm waiting for the one guy on Reddit who says I don't want to see them as Beastmen.
Великан, ну почему? Возможно, ему будет применение за счет хорошей стойкости к стрелковым отрядам. Почему? Я думаю, вполне может быть великан, ничего.
Whoa, we're back. So that's our little preview of another Lord of the End Times and some more of the units coming with them. Exciting?
Yeah.
Look at the smiles.
Who could be the fourth?
Oh, so there is one more who we won't be talking about. So I don't want people to think that was me teasing that I was going to build up to something. No. One more who we won't be talking about. But we've now got 3 revealed. So we've got Nagash.
Так, еще одного будут анонсировать.
Who we revealed during the show and tell, and now we've got Glocken.
Yeah, 3 great ones, and another great one still to come.
Exactly. But people really liked it last time that we didn't stop there when we revealed the units. We gave them teasers of some other units. So I've grabbed 4 images of other units that will be coming with the Glocken, and I have desperately tried to make these slightly harder than last time, because I think the Empire ones, within 10 minutes I saw people had got them. So this time...
These ones are better. These are actually a bit more of a challenge.
They're Sean approved. So we have 4 teasers here of 4 different units. None of these units are ones we have already revealed, at least to the best of my knowledge. So we'll see if people are able to work some of these out. Someone said, well, that's just obvious. And I hope they're joking, all right? Because I took so many different snips to try and work out which ones aren't too obvious. I think one of these is much more
короче, типа сейчас они его не рассекретят. Ну да.
Someone's correctly guessed that all 4 of them are Pontus.
Танковаль.
How did they know?
Clearly, I've left the names on. But we'll see if people are able to work those out. I was thinking we could have confirmed the Empire ones, but I think it was all just kind of agreed upon and set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was agreed within 10 minutes. One person had a conflicting opinion until they pointed out.
Yeah, someone put a picture in the model and they're like, no, it's this part. So we'll see if people are able to get this one. Everyone thinks, so a lot of people trying to work out if they are Vermin Lords. These are all units coming with Glocken as part of the Warriors of Chaos roster. Okay. I think that's everything that we've got. Let me quickly see if there's any questions. So, do giants yell and ball?
Do all giants get yell and ball? As it stands today, No.
Mm-hmm.
But with all these tags about development and progress, things can change.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And we've answered about maybe who's going to be... We're looking at who's getting access to different units. Fantastic. Okay. Let me find my pieces of paper and we can start to wrap this up. So that's our...
Таким, конечно...
We stole it from GW Rumor Engine.
Темпами, да, это, бля, конец осени нафиг. Прикинь, они сколько показывают, только лорды, отряды, это еще они не зашли о большинстве механик новых лордов. DLC огромная, но они сыпят инфы вообще очень мало.
Let us know what you think, if you like the format of this and other bits you'd want to see. You will be hearing from us next, I think, generally in streams. I think I'm going to take next week off just to do a bit of work on this room. Maybe when we come back, we'll have little microphones here instead of ones up there, so I'll stop hitting my head.
Нравится ли нам формат этого? Бля, лучше делайте раз в 3 месяца, но больше. Я не знаю.
When it's ready. We are heads down. I mean, you two in particular, I apologize for stealing an hour of your time. Heads down, launching later this
Когда
summer.
вы сможете ожидать новых выпусков End Times? Ну давайте, скажите в августе, и тогда будет ясно, что...
Plenty of other streams on the way, not just about Warhammer 3, sorry guys. But for 9.0 and End Times, the next time you'll hear from us will be closer to launch.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where we are. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate you all coming along. Thank you so much, my wonderful guests. Lovely to have you here. I think we managed to get through everything in decent time and God to. So thank you very much for coming on.
No
we'll see you all next time.
Да.
It's quite a few button presses for me to get to the end of
Да. Ну, в принципе, как и ожидалось, заанонсят нового лорда и покажут, сколько показали нам. Один отряд вот, это в 3 вариациях великана бронированного. В принципе, как бы, ну, великан есть в игре просто с новым типом атаки и более защищенный, и Василиск. Как бы все. Но летом не будет никакого выпуска, это прям... Что, пошли в Three Kingdoms напьемся? Летом 2056 года. Ну, наверное, в декабре выпустят. Под конец своего этого финансового отчетного года. Я так думаю. Потому что это такое было очень дерзкое заявление в том году, что мы вам через полгода, то уже был декабрь, да, что мы вам летом выпустим одно из самых крупных дополнений. Самое забавное, что это, ну, блин, уже как бы, если на то пошло, большинство юнитов, даже которые не вводят в DLC, даже, так скажем, всякие демоны в 3-й вахе в свое время уже существовали во 2-й вахе. То есть, ну, как бы это понятно. Они просто вводят в игру официальные модели, то есть именно сами разрабы. То есть не то, что было сделано фанатами, тут как бы это понятно. Короче, они какой-то пост на следующей неделе сделают, да, сказали. Это сегодня что у нас, вторник только. Короче, через неделю будет информация более подробная по патчу 8.1. А следующий стрим с разработчиками по End Times, что-то там я проскочила, вроде они сказали конец лета, да? С 40 они как-то пободрее делают. Не, ну свои основные, как бы, да, новые части Total War они делают пободрее, как бы, потому что это их основная прибыль. А тут, да, тут просто вот это текущее дополнение, там, наверное, 10 индусов пилит за еду. Не то, что раньше была поддержка второй вахи, когда, блин, за год выходило 3 дополнения. И что, они там были плохие? Нет, они вполне были хорошие дополнения, там. И с механиками, и совсем, как бы, и отряды, и все было. То есть, а сейчас просто штат у них меньше. 10 индусов. А, ну да, один болгар. Не, ну может там это, один индус, который руководит, и да, и 10 болгаров там. А может болгаров вообще нафиг всех разогнали, да и один только остался. И 10 индусов. Ну, короче, как-то так. Так, что у нас сейчас по времени? 6:30? 6:30. А пойти поужинать будет сейчас тогда. 18:32. Прорисовка у них упала. Ну, тут нет, тут судить как бы рано. Во-первых, там непонятно, в каком разрешении это видео находится, которое они показывают, потому что там явно как будто в каком-то это, блин, в разрешении 360, блин. И плюс это все в процессе находится. Стрим сегодня все? Нет, стрим сегодня не все, но Троецарствие у нас будет завтра, и сегодня вечером я пойду играть в Diablo 4. Во, в 8 часов после ужина. Троецарствие будет завтра. Ой, фу, лучше бы в поя. Не, меня это... Диаблу задарили, пойду в Диабло играть. Сегодня новый сезон стартует в 8. Как только обнова пройдет, запускаю стрим. Так что, ну все, ребята, пойду поужинаю и через 1,5 часика увидимся. Ну, понятно, компаний больше не будет. Что, все будет. Просто не сегодня. Спасибо, Джон.